So look, social media is a part of our lives. We all use some element of it all the time. And it's an important outlet for creativity, for staying connected with people, for learning, and it's a platform for organizing people. But like any powerful tool, it can be dangerous. The social media company TikTok has knowingly ignored its dangers it presents itself. And so today, my office is suing TikTok for preying on Minnesota's young people, for violating Minnesota law with addictive algorithms and exploitative features. In our lawsuit, we allege a few things. One, TikTok has violated the law by designing features that can cause users to, especially children, by the way, to compulsively and excessively use the app such that they are mentally, physically, and financially injured. TikTok has violated the law by live streaming and virtual monetary features that it knows induces compulsive use of the app and is used for financial and sexual exploitation of children. TikTok has violated the law by repeatedly and knowingly misrepresenting the safety of the app when it knows that design features of the app are causing or contributing to compulsive use that harms users. TikTok has violated the law by knowingly misrepresenting the safety of the app's live and virtual monetary features when it knows those features are being used for criminal sexually exploitive purposes. And TikTok has violated the law by failing to become licensed, make disclosures, and submit to examinations by the Minnesota Department of Commerce because it is engaged in money transmission and virtual currency business activity. So, look, this isn't about free speech. I'm sure they're going to holler that. It's actually about deception, manipulation, misrepresentation. This is about a company knowing the dangers and the dangerous effects of its product, but taking no steps to mitigate those harms or inform users of the risks. I just want to walk through the harm that TikTok is causing as we speak. First of all, 95% of smartphone users in the United States who are aged 13 to 17 have TikTok on their devices. That means hundreds of thousands of Minnesota kids. TikTok's own data show, on average, these young people spend almost 2 hours a day on the app. More than 20% use the app in the middle of the night when kids are supposed to be sleeping. And I know that just about every parent of young children in this state could tell you how hard it is to get kids to put those phones away and turn away from apps like TikTok once they start scrolling. And none of this is by accident. It's all a design of the product. TikTok has created a dangerously addictive platform that exploits the unfinished reward systems in our children's brains. They're neurological systems that control our desires for risk-taking, attention, peer reinforcement, are particularly sensitive in teens. And TikTok has designed its app to exploit that very vulnerability. There's science behind this. They have studied. They have put on the, proverbial white coats and gone into the lab to figure out exactly how to do what they are doing. And you know what? Our young people are feeling it. The urge to pick up your phone, the inability to ignore notifications, the desire to continue to scrolling for just a few more minutes. These are products of an engineered addiction. And adults have a tough time putting that phone down. Think about a kid. It's not fair. It's an unfair thing to expect that a kid can overcome the pressures and the design features and the research and the brain science of some of the most highly trained people in the world. Let me direct your attention to the words of Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, who has put it this way. We have some of the best designers and product developers in the world who have designed these products to make sure people are maximizing the amount of time they spend on these platforms. And if we tell a child, use the force of your willpower to control how much time you're spending on social media, you're pitting a child against the world's greatest product designers, and that's just not a fair fight. So TikTok is intentionally designing its product to push our children to make choices that benefit TikTok's bottom line. Never forget, this is about money. It is about money. That is what is going on here. And they're doing it at the expense of our kids' emotional, behavioral, and physical health. Here's a few examples how. The algorithm leverages user data to push content that keeps users engaged. The infinite scroll feature keeps users in an endless state of swiping. There's no way to finish the content. Push notifications encourage repetitive checking of the app, which kids between 13 and 17 do about 17 times a day on average. TikTok Live's unlicensed virtual currency system encourages excessive and exploitive spending. And virtual filters and effects create idealized and unattainable images of users. Let me point your attention to this board. Now this is what this young woman looks like. This is what the filter puts up. TikTok's filters, my goodness. Here it says, it's oh my God, hold on, let's go back to the filter, oh my gosh. TikTok's Trust and Safety Team acknowledged in an internal 2023 recommendation report on mental health that beauty filters are causing severe psychological harm to minors. Well, of course they are. They built it that way. This stuff is digital nicotine. When you think about the clever research and brain science in some of our earlier fights, it's not materially different in its effect right here, right now. Just like Big Tobacco designs its products to addict them, TikTok is working to create TikTok addicts. And the worst part is, it's working. TikTok is profiting, making big money, and our kids are paying a heavy price. And if our kids are paying a heavy price, our society is paying a heavy price and will continue to pay one until we stop this. Studies show that compulsive use of apps like TikTok leads to increased irritability and anxiety and higher risks of suicidal behaviors. Research tells us that prolonged TikTok use specifically can lead to disrupted sleep, reduced physical activity, body dissatisfaction, disordered eating, low self-esteem, and self-harm. And in a little while, you're going to hear from somebody who does this stuff every single day. And I'm looking forward to you hearing from our guest, who I'll introduce in a minute. So it's not a coincidence that as screen time is at an all-time high in Minnesota, we're seeing record levels of children suffering mental health issues. In 2013, just a quarter of Minnesota's 11th graders reported challenges in building friendships with other young people. By the year 2022, that number reached 40%. None of this is news to TikTok. They know the dangers of the app, and they know the dangers the app poses to young people. But they've never taken any real measures to correct those. Take TikTok Live, for example. The live streaming platform within the app. Their own internal documents tell us that TikTok knew, but never warned us, that live streaming encourages addictive and compulsive purchases and puts minors at developmental risk. When you combine live streaming with virtual currency, you get a strip club. That's what TikTok built. They know that live is built on a transactional gifting that minors are doing it. TikTok knew but never warned us that 40% of TikTok users encounter inappropriate content related to children, and that its own moderation systems miss a significant amount of harmful material depicting child exploitation. TikTok knew but never warned us that its live tools are putting young users at risk of grooming and exposure to inappropriate content, but kept pushing that content because it was good for their bottom line. My bottom line is that Minnesota will protect our kids. Full stop. I'm taking them to court. We're not trying to shut them down, but we are insisting that they clean up their act. There are legitimate uses of products like TikTok, but like all things, they have to be used properly and safely. And the way that TikTok is going about its business is not that. My kids are grown now, and I'm thankful that I didn't have to navigate these waters while they were young. But I feel for the parents of young kids who are trying to keep their kids safe in the social media era. I pledge to these parents and to these children to use my office to protect them and be at their side. If you and your family have stories about TikTok and TikTok Live and how it's impacted the health and well-being of your family, you can visit our website and share your stories with us, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. You can go to our social media complaint form and share those stories, and it'll help our investigation and can help other families stay safe. So let me just say, as I mentioned a moment ago, we have somebody who is on the front lines of fighting for and protecting our kids every day. We're lucky to have Sean Patton, who is not only a middle school teacher, but is a coach and has dedicated his life to the well-being of our kids. And so, Sean, please come forward and share some of your frontline observations.
Thank you, Attorney General Ellison, for having me here. Hi, my name is Sean Patton. I am a middle school health teacher. I teach students ranging from ages 12 to 14 years of age. I've been doing it for about 20 years. And that is S-E-A-N, very Irish. Patton is P-A-D-D-E-N. Over the past several years, I have witnessed a correlation between increased usage of TikTok and an irrefutable spike in student mental health issues. This includes depression, anxiety, anger management issues, and self-esteem depletion. TikTok's algorithm is designed to provide students with quick, targeted reels that are based on their tracked likes and previous clicks. These students are curious, and they are underdeveloped in important life skills such as stress management, emotional regulation, communication, and the ability to successfully evaluate media messaging. This algorithm often exposes students to inappropriate materials and content which coaxes them into performing unsafe challenges, as well as reels that rapidly switch from uplifting content to depressing content, acting as an emotional roller coaster which these students struggle to find the tools to navigate. I've experienced these pitfalls of TikTok and its algorithm in my classroom in a variety of ways, including many of which Mr. Ellison spoke to. A decrease in student attention span due to instant quick hit gratification of reels, leading to the inability for the student to stay focused for an entire class period. Attempting dangerous and oftentimes harmful challenges, resulting in damage to property and even student hospitalization. Excessive use leading to sleep deprivation, which negatively impacts the student's ability to learn and recall new important information. Students excessively checking their phones for fear of missing out, which distracts them from learning. And an increase in cyberbullying and conflict, which spills into the classroom and school environment, negatively affecting everyone's experience. In fact, with an activity I do with my students, TikTok is routinely listed near the top when I pose this specific question. Which social media applications are most likely to negatively impact your mood and/or mental health? Many of my students report witnessing sexually suggestive material, racist propaganda, AI-generated misinformation, cyberbullying, and being subjected to unrealistic comparisons, despite the use of parental controls and/or safety measures that were put into place. Another activity I do, I have students take out their phones and check their data usage for apps. TikTok is usually near the top. What I find interesting is even students that report not using the app full-time and hardly using the app at all are reporting high levels of data usage for the app. This begs the question, is the app listening, and is it potentially gathering and sharing information of our young students? For all of these reasons and more, I support any regulation or litigation that will force the platform to become less addictive and less damaging to my students and other students throughout the state of Minnesota. Thank you.